Okay guys, we may have finally sorted out the comms. If you can hear me, welcome to the live stream of the Mixed Sunday finale on the PlayStation 5. I believe the microphone is now live, so we have sorted that out after 20 odd minutes, so I do apologise for the technical issues. We'll blame it from technical issues, that's what we're going to put it down to. I was going to say I'm live from the Nurburgring, but I would be lying to you if I'm live from Germany itself. I'm not. I'm currently sat in my living room in Derby in the United Kingdom on a Sunday evening, but nonetheless bringing you the live coverage. So after the technical issues of the first 25 to 40 minutes, we'll bring you a little bit of an update as to the standings. So state of play, Milden currently P1, 6 seconds ahead of Elysium, and just a bit of a heads up if I do butcher anybody's names wrongly here, I do apologise in advance, but I'll give you the order. So Elysium in P2, King of the Hills P3 with a lead of about 4 seconds to GT Jamie. We then have Chico P5 with Axel not too far behind, 2.5 seconds in the BMW. Robin P7, Shadow in P8, Shamzo P9 and FRLACC in P10. Then we've got Ams, Andy, Marty, Jack Slater, Harvey in P15. Jester looks like he's got a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds, now dropped down to P17. That's Cool in P16, Highgrade in P18 and David in P19. So the field is fairly spread out, given the fact that we're now 25 minutes into the race, and as I said, I do apologise for the technical issues we've experienced with the microphone up until now. But hopefully you've seen and enjoyed some of the on-track action up until now. So we've currently got Marty just been taken by Jax in the GT3. We just switched to the race leader. Here we are, car number 1, P number 1, FRL Milden, enjoying the lead of 7.2 seconds to the Porsche Elysium in P2. So fairly good testing and I say practice, even though it is still alive in the season finale, it is still a lot of practice for the guys tonight, considering it is the first race post PlayStation update for ACC. A lot of drivers getting used to the new tyre model, physics. I know it's caught some people off by surprise with the lap times, I don't know, a little bit lower than what people are used to and setup having to be tweaked, but I think the majority of people will agree the update's been good, the cars feel great. And hopefully the devs can get the game patched in the coming week with some of the bugs we're experiencing, mainly the online bugs where the server issues, so fingers crossed these are resolved. Back to the race, 34 minutes in, pit stop's going to be coming up shortly. It'll be interesting to see who will be looking to pull the trigger and go for the undercut, or maybe even the overcut. Tyres and fuel all playing a part. People looking for those gaps and those right moments. Have they got traffic? Have they got GT4 cars ahead that would be costing them time? Those would be the decisions and the thoughts running through the driver's mind at the moment. Special shout out to my teammate Axel, currently in P5. Axel and I we're running teammates in the upcoming Endurance and Taco series. We was hoping to do a bit of a live post-race interview with him after the race, but given the comms issues we've had, that was looking unlikely, but now we've got it working, hopefully we'll be able to bring you a bit of a post-race interview. He did say to me though not to bother him if he still had his helmet on post-race, so we'll see what kind of result he brings in. But hopefully he'll give us a little bit of an insight into his race. But it's looking good so far for Axel, currently P5. He did drop me a message before the race. He said the BMW is feeling good for him. He's feeling confident. Track's dialed in, so 33 minutes to bring it home for a decent result. One of the nice little features of the new update is the updated graphics, and you can really see the dirt and grime now collecting on the cars a lot more. The little touches like that really does make a difference when it comes to the console version compared to the PC. Switching to GT Jamie here, P3 coming up to a GT4 car in AMS. Hopefully you can get by in the straight nice and cleanly. Which he has done. Had to make that overtake nice and clean considering he's got Chico only 2 seconds behind him, who I believe did a 1:57, a few tenths quicker than Jamie, so could be the tyres are going off or just a bit of a slow lap probably in traffic, but we'll see what the times are this lap. I suppose I didn't do an introduction to myself, did I, as well, considering the issues we had. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lewis, also known as Louis UK on the PSN. It's a username I picked when I was a teenager, about 15 years ago, when I thought having numbers instead of letters was cool. So my technical name is L3W1. It's meant to say Louis, because I thought that was cool when you were 15 back in the day. I just haven't changed it since then. But it is Louis UK, my name is Lewis. So I'm only 1 season in the FRLACC. I haven't been with you guys for that long, but it was a good first season in the tacos. I finished second in the AM tier, the AM tier. Probably would say not due to pace. I certainly wasn't the second quickest in that tier. I think it was mainly due to consistency. But you know, sometimes you've got to take consistency at the pace. So I'm certainly looking forward to racing in the Pro tier next season. Though I certainly won't be back then for P2, it'll probably be more like P22, but we'll see. It is very much a one-off appearance tonight for me on comms, unless I have 200 people say how much they love my voice for 30 minutes, then maybe I'll be tempted to do it again, but it's just a one-off.
We are halfway through, keep pushing.
Chico certainly is gaining time on Jamie here. Now only under a second. This is due to the GT4. This is the beauty of mixed racing, or probably some of the anger of mixed racing. You're behind the wheel and you do come up against traffic. It's frustrating. It's all part and parcel of mixed racing, mixed class racing. So you can lose time, but you can also gain time. And Jamie's starting to come under pressure now from Chico. Again, Chico, could you be thinking of the undercut? We're half an hour into the race now, so those pit stops we'll be starting to see, as we've seen a few cars entering the pits now. We'll switch to our race leader Milden to see if he decides to box this lap or stay out. Also, I do apologise if you can hear a very heavy breathing dog in the background. I do have noise cancelling headphones, but I've got my dog currently deciding to attack me during commentary, which is not great. So if you do hear heavy panting, rest assured it is not me being out of breath on commentary, it is my Labradoodle puppy. So Milden stays out, does not box this lap, and we'll see where we are with the other on-track action. So it looks like we have a battle going on here between Axel and Shamso in P7 and P8. Shamso only half a second behind. We'll stay on board for this one as we go through the sector 1, sector 2. Always a tricky corner, this slow right-hander always seems to go on forever. We have to be really patient on the throttle. Don't take the car too wide. And coming down to the all-important hairpin, almost like a double apex this, depending how you take it. There's always a couple of lines, the way how you go. On the brakes heavy here, Axel getting that BMW round. Try not to let the back end step out on the throttle. Hopefully he's got his traction control turned up, which I believe he's on the traction control 8, I believe. If I'm reading that right on the hood. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but we'll see. So Schumacher Restless navigated well. Oh, looks a little bit deep there, it looks like. looks okay, Axel. Having to navigate the traffic and coming up to the back straight. Probably one of the trickiest corners is the actual fast chicane. I say it's tricky, it looks fairly easy, but it's not. If you misjudge that braking, you go flying off into the shadow realm, as some people would call it. Axel navigated that pretty well, as has Shamso and Daspol behind. Daspol is P14, I must say, not currently racing for position with these two. Yeah, it's worth mentioning there is a pit window tonight due to the kind of the private lobby settings we've had to go. It has been slightly tweaked in terms of the pit window and the normal rules, but I'm sure people will appreciate the slight change in settings given the fact that we have got a race on. A lot of people doubted that it would go ahead tonight given the server issues, so yeah, it's worth mentioning that it's thank you to the organisers to get the race on. And hopefully everyone's been able to get a race in and not get disconnected. I know I had a few issues myself in practice in terms of getting disconnected, but so far we're sticking with it. So back to Shamso and Axel. Pressure is certainly on now. Shamso right up the rear of that BMW. It looks almost like he's pushing him down the back straight. We'll stick with this as we head towards the fast chicane coming up. And it looks like we have a car off the yellow flag up here. It's car number 3 went off there, I believe. Let's return to the pits manually there, because it looks like the car that went off has just disappeared. It looks like it was Jester, car number 3, currently in the pits. So we'll stick with this on-screen battle given the gaps. We've got Chico in P6, Axel P7 and Shamso P8. Cars nicely grouped together here, so we'll stick with this on screen given the proximity of the cars. Looks like a little bit of lock up there from Shamso potentially. If that was a visual glitch on the screen, it looked like he went a little bit deep into the corner. That slow right hand as I mentioned a few minutes ago. After coming to the hairpin. Such a critical exit as well to get the power down out of this corner, get the run up through the Schumacher S. Some drivers having to lift through there. I think most drivers lift through out there to be honest, but one or two maybe decide to go full throttle, but I know I personally do lift, haven't quite got the guts to leave it full throttle. All the drivers so far, we've had no major accidents really. I think there was a slight incident on lap 1, but apart from that it's all been fairly clean. Drivers being respectful to each other, that we'd like to see. What FRL encourages is clean, fair racing, so it's great to see that. My wife then just thought she was funny by saying it's because I'm not driving. It's she's clearly not seen some of my previous races. So I must admit I've been called into the steward's room once or twice. I think the receptionist in the steward's room was getting to know my name after a while, but I have a clean record. Let's just leave it as that. Apart from one race. But yeah, it's great to see the drivers keeping it clean, keeping it competitive amongst each other, wheel to wheel. we'll just go back to the standings. Oh, as I've done that, Shamso has just lost it and gone into the barrier. That McLaren is certainly looking a little worse for wear now. Let's just go back to the broadcast camera. Let's go on board. Yeah, McLaren is certainly looking like it's going to potentially risk it MOT. Looking at the front of that, a few scratches and a few dents. Let's go on board. See how it's looking on board. Shamso there, fortunately, veering off. See what he can do, see how much damage he's got on board, and see if damage like that hitting the car in the barrier in the front can cause you a lot of aero damage, but we'll see. Hopefully for his sake it isn't too bad. 20 minutes to get the car to the end. So heading back to Milding P1 with the pit stops, we've retaken the lead, which is not a surprise given the gap we had before the pit stops. He's currently back in the lead of 11.5, I believe, to LSC, and we'll go back to the standings and get you an overview. The GT Jamie and Rob currently boxing. The standings have not been updated yet on the screen, so the lead building is in P1 now. We're navigating the traffic. There we go, I've updated, I was right, I was getting worried there that I wasn't right in the last thing, but no, he was first. Updated. So, top 10. Mildon P1, LSCN P2, GTJ P3, Rob P4, King of the Hills P5 in the Porsche in the 888 car, P6 is NTS Chico in the Ferrari, 7 is Axel in the 137 BMW, Shamso P8 in number 79 Bentley, which is a Ferrari Evolve. I feel like I'm really butchering that pronunciation, that so I do apologise if I am. And then P10 is a Lamborghini, I believe the only Lambo on track today. 3 Lambo Shadow Lancer P10. And then we have Das Cool P11, Amd 12, Andy 13, Jack's Clayton, Suzuki, and we have a couple of the AMG Mercedes, High Grade, Marty, P15 and 16 respectively. And then Harvey, Davis and Jester rounding off the grid in the GT4 category. Just having a look at some of the lap times, so we'll just go back to the battle for the podium given the difference. So King of the Hills looks like he's averaging fairly consistently low to 58, just seems to be his race pace. And if we switch to GT Jamie, which is 5 seconds up the road, looking at his lap times and pulled around the pit stops, and there was a couple of 57s in there, but similar pace, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops and going into the last 15 minutes of this race, the last 20 minutes of this race, I'd say. Get back on board with a couple of drivers. Jack Slater here, P14 in the BMW number 5 car. Looks like he's lapped one of the cars through. It's car number 7 as LSCM, so one of the lead P2 coming through in the Porsche. Thankfully got out of the way nice and clean and then didn't help hold up LSCM too much by the looks of it. Go to the Schumacher S's to find car number 75, the Bentley. I believe is coming up behind GT Jamie, only under a second there, so we'll stay on board for this battle as we go towards sector 3 of the track. A lot of people saying the Bentley feels a little bit different post-update, you know, probably a little bit worse than what it was. I know the Aston Martin is certainly feeling good post 1.8. But I'm sure it's just a case of the drivers getting used to the cars again, fine-tuning the setups. Now, I understand there's a few things on the original setup that won't work quite well. Obviously the brake ducts playing big part now, and obviously the tyre model has completely changed. So things drivers will need a little bit of time to tweak those and bring down the lap times to what they were before the update. As we see Kimber Hill pit in the Porsche, the box. So that's then brought DT only up to P3, Rob P4, I believe. I hope everyone's had a good weekend and enjoying the coverage of the race this evening. I know there's a few of you watching live, so welcome to the viewers, and for those catching up on the stream post being live throughout the week, hopefully see some of you on Track the South throughout the upcoming series. I'll be taking part in the Taco Tuesdays and the Endurance. However, I will be missing the opening round of the Endurance series due to my wife forcing me to go out for a family event, which I know I wasn't too pleased about, but you know, happy wife, happy life, as they say. But I will be back for the second round of the Endurance. So it looks like we've got a couple of cars close together here, and we're both back on board, and it is yet again Axel involved with the action here, up against Chico. Shamso is still about 5 seconds behind after going off about 5-8 minutes ago. Chico and Axel really will to will here. This is going to be quite close going up to the fast chicane. Axel's having a look down the inside. He's got the GT4 car there as well, I believe, which is going to add more confusion into the matters, but he's navigated both of them navigated the GT4 car well. Chico's kept ahead. And Bono would be on the race on the radio saying it's hammer time to Lewis, but I'm sure Chico's certainly got his Chico time, certainly as it is right now. That's a really poor pun, I know, but it certainly is Chico time for him with Axel right behind him. Got Harvey as well in the Aston Martin GT4 on the right, sticking to the right, gone down the inside, all nice and clean. He's slotted himself in between the two though, Harvey has, so Axel's going to lose a few tenths there. Looks like Axel's got past him though in the rear view mirror. And we have a right gaggle of cars up now, so we've got Martin Hargrave fighting for position up ahead. We'll stay on board with this. 4 cars going into the one corner here. This is not probably going to end well, but so far so good for everyone. So Chico's going down the right hand side, going to go down the inside I believe. Axel's following suit, is he? He is. He's gone late on the brakes. He's managed to keep control of that Beamer. All really good driving from everyone involved there. The last thing we wanted to see there was a GT4 car or a GT3 go off, but everyone kept it clean, kept it respectful. Great stuff, guys. We're going to stick a board here. We've still got this gaggle of cars really close together. Got a car a little bit wide there, 3 wide going into one corner then. That was going to... We've got a car going wide, I believe. We've got the dust kicking up. I think we have got a car gone wide. We've got Marty here with Harvey side by side. We'll stay on board for this. Cracking action going on here as we go into T1, the heavy braking zone. Who's going to be the last in the race? Looks like Harvey's got the inside. Yes, Harvey's gone wide a little bit, and he's lost it back end, stepped out of the Aston. The rear was The rear tyres are saying no thank you, not going to have any of that. Stepped out, and Marty takes the position. That's unfortunate for Harvey. Looked like he went just a little bit wide, got off track, dirty line, dirty rubber and all that. Back end is not happy with that. So we've still got some really good action going on here, got some cars really close together. Anything can happen here. So we've got Rob in P4, only just under 2 seconds up the road. Chico in P5, and Axel yet again on his rear gearbox. Let's just see if I can get the camera to go on Axel. Here we go. Let's stick with this camera angle. Axel in the slipstream now. What side is Chico going to defend? He's going to go to the left, he's going to go to the right. Looks like he's going to park up that Ferrari to the right hand side. We've got the brake markers going everywhere. That's going to confuse the drivers. So that's going to certainly throw up some interesting braking later on, as the Jack Slater, I believe, took out the brake marker there and going into the fascia cane. Certainly lost Axel a couple of tenths there. I'm not surprised, that would certainly put me off if I was coming into that corner and seeing the brake marker fly everywhere. One of the nice little visual touches as well of the update is the dirt on the windscreen. It seems a lot more realistic now as it was post-update. Before, didn't really get that much effect from the console version, but you can really see the dirt now collecting the screen, which again, just little touches like that really does add to the realism, especially when you've got like a sunset, sun low in the sky, and really finding it hard to see out of. It's going to add quite an interesting aspect to it when it comes to endurance racing. Throughout the rest of this lap, and we'll have a look to see what else is cracking off. See if we can push Chico again going into this chicane at the corners of that. This corner here is so important to get that traction off, get that run down the back straight. If you go a little bit wide and just dip those tyres in the gravel, you really are losing a lot of time. Going to be a little bit too far back here to make a move, even if he's got Daniel Ricciardo's talent plate on the brakes. He'll be a little bit too far back to use it. But Chico's gone a little bit iffy about over the chicane, and that's caused Axel to close the gap as we cross the start finish line. Let's look at the lap time, see what they're doing. So Chico crosses the line doing 57.8, Axel 57.5, so a couple of tenths in it there. 9 minutes left. It's going to be quite a close finish for these two. Oh, and Axel's lost it. He's gone round. Ax going to give a sigh of relief to Chico. He's going to have that little bit of breathing space now. He can probably focus on the road ahead of him rather than his rearview mirror. It's unfortunate for Axel there. The question is, has that given Shamso a little bit of a sniff at P6? He certainly would have seen the gap closing on his telemetry and certainly see the thing with you in the distance. So 2 seconds behind, potentially Shamso comes back and close over P6. We'll just go back on board with the leaders, see how Milden's doing. It'd be rude of me to avoid the race leader. If I can get my camera to him, here we go. Comfortable lead so far, 17 seconds. Hopefully I haven't given him the commentator's curse there by saying it's a comfortable lead, but lap time of 56.7, very good lap time. Yeah, let's see, I'm going to have to probably take a mistake, I would imagine, from Milden now, but let's see him to close that gap. Let's just have a look at the times to see where we are with the GT4 spec. So Ams is currently leading the GT4, Andy following. Then we have Marty, High Grade, Harvey and David. So it looks like Harvey is 0.2 behind High Grade. So we'll keep on board with these. We'll go back to the spectator cam. Apologies for the camera there, just the spectator mode is still a little bit iffy on the PlayStation. You'll have to kind of go through the order to get to where you want to go. I don't believe there's no way of selecting the driver you want to in this mode. If there is or not, I've certainly not found it myself in my first debut appearance of commentary. So we've got a car going across the chicane there, and it looks like it's a GT4. We'll go on board to see what's happening. Down into P1, we've got High Grade, David and Harvey, all separated by less than half a second here. Got Harvey goes to the inside with the Aston. David in the BMW, the side by side going into T2. There's a little BMW getting a little bit out of control there, a little bit sideways. He's kept it under control on the brakes. Both gone a little bit deep. Let's just open the door for High Grade. No, he's kept it clean though. Can he get a good exit out of this corner? Yeah, it's a good power delivery there. Looks like David's potentially got the run on Harvey here. He has to the outside. It's going to be very tricky if he can maintain this overtake on the outside. Harvey's going to park that Aston right in the middle. David's backed out of it a little bit, which is quite a sensible decision. Harvey's gone a little bit deep though. All three are going to go 3 wide into the hairpin here, aren't they? They're going to make my life an absolute hard here. Commentate on this. We're going to stay on board. Side by side. David a little bit earlier on the brakes. Hargrade's gone a little bit too deep. He's in the gravel. That's going to cost him for the rest of the lap. But David managed to keep on the rear of Harvey. I'll see if I can get the camera to switch to, here we are, to car number 303, the BMW. Fantastic action there from the GT4s. Looks like Harvey's got his right indicator flashing. I'd imagine now he's by area, he's not looking to pull over and ask for directions. His right indicator is still flashing as David's headlights come on as well. Great action from the GT4, it's always a fun class to race with. You get some really close action with them, as you can with the GT3s of course, but GT4s do offer that difference in the on track. So guys, 4 minutes left into the race. Let's see what opportunities present themselves to people. This is where we start seeing drivers get a little bit desperate, making those moves that they probably wouldn't have done earlier on in the race. We've again got side-by-side action going into T1 here. David and Harvey, great fighting going on here. We're going to stick with it. We can't leave this. Got GT3 car flashing as well coming through. Looks like that's Milden, the race leader. Car number 1, P number 1, Milden coming through. He's not going to want to get caught up and tangled up in this action, so let's see if he can navigate the traffic well, which he has. Great driving from Milden and David and Harvey. So if I can overcome the hurdle of the technical issues for post-race, we will bring you a post-race interview with Axel. Hopefully anyway. Okay, we're going to Harvey's gone wide here. Sorry, just rejoining the action there. I was just checking the standings on my phone, looking up to see Harvey, the Aston, going wide down the pit straight. So look, Davies took the position, but again, they're going to go side by side. These two are attracting each other very nicely, like a good Tinder date here. They can't seem to get any space between each other. They're just going to stay side by side going into T1 for probably the third lap running. Harvey's got that position back, but David is certainly not giving it up. I believe these are the closest action on track. Actually, in fact, I'm just going to switch to Chico because we have GT Jamie right on his heels, 0.3 behind. I believe Jamie was in P3, if my memory serves me well. So look, maybe I've made a mistake. Apologies if I've missed that on the live. Chico's up to the podium position right now with just under a minute and a half left. He certainly will be feeling the pressure right now for that podium position. Looks like Axel's mistake earlier on at T1 has kind of cost him that chance. But we'll stay on board for this battle right now, given that it's a podium position at play, as we head into the final 60 seconds of this race. A race that has stayed dry as well. I know a lot of drivers were saying on the Discord chat beforehand that it was potentially going to be wet. Not a lot of people have done a lot of wet running, but it has stayed dry. Got to say, Chico's been fantastic. If I have to give you a bit of a personal view, he's really driven coolly in that car tonight. We've had Axel on his gearbox for a good amount of time. He's now got Jamie, certainly driving it well.
Give it all you can.
And as you'll see there, the message on screen, leader is on his final lap, Milden, as he heads into turn 1. We will stay on board for this, given the gap. We're just going to go back to Shamso and Axel, because Shamso's really closed up now on Axel. Whether it's his tyres going off or another mistake, we'll find out after the race when we speak to Axel. But Shamso 0.4 behind going into the final lap of the race. What can he do? Is he going to make that desperate dive down the inside? Is he going to be close enough? Looks like Axel must have made a mistake. Lap time was 59.2 there. That's not his normal race pace, so of course must be a mistake. But Shamso won't mind at all. He's going to give it a shot. A little bit of on-screen lag there, I believe. I don't think that was natural movement from the car. Oh, have we got a little bit of lag? It looks like we have got a BMW. Yeah, apologies guys, it looks like there's a bit of lag going on there, but either way we've got the two cars side by side going into sector 2, and they've made contact by the looks of it. Yeah, they've made contact. Big accident here. Axel going into the barrier. Shamso looks like he's managed to carry on. Let's see if we can go on board. And that's Axel stopping on track by the looks of it. Yellow flags are out.
Has finished the race.
He looks like he's letting the car go behind. That's unfortunate. We'll see if we can get a replay of that after the race. But crossing the line in car number 1, in position number 1, is Milton. Absolutely fantastic race from Milton. Congratulations on the win, mate. Another win, I must add. And let's see if we can go to Chico, who's managed to maintain that gap to Jamie, and who looks like, barring any last moment drama, will bring it home for the final podium position. Head back to the main screen there, get a proper roundup of the things. So Elysium has finished in P2, 19 seconds behind P1. Chico brings it home in P5, beg your pardon, P3. Cracking drive from Chico. GT Jamie likewise P4. Shamso coming home in P5 following the contact with Axel. That'll be interesting to see what happened there. Axel is coming around the final corner now. Be interesting to see what happened given the fact that we had a little bit of lag going into T1 and 2. Couldn't quite work out what happened. We have Volt in P7. You're going to certainly need to private message me after and tell me how to pronounce that username. King of the Hills P8. Triple 8 the Porsche. And that's the final standings. We've got Shadow Lancer P9, Daskal P10, and in the GT4 winner, class winner, P11, P1 shall I say. So, cracking race guys. Massive apologies for the comms issue at the start, but hopefully you enjoyed the last 40 minutes or so of my commentary and the screen action before that. We're going to try and get Axel in for a post-race interview, so just bear with me for a moment, people. Axel, can you hear me? Axel, you there, pal? No worries at all. So you are live on the FRL YouTube channel. Hopefully this is working properly. So if it isn't, then it's going to be a waste of time. But if it is working, we thought it'd be a good idea to have some. Yes, you are live on air. Please do not swear. I managed to avoid it up until now. So, how was your race? Give us your post-race thoughts. Yes. We did. We saw the incident, so we had a little bit of on-screen lag going into turn 1 and 2. But did you go a little bit wide? What happened? He did, yes. He finished P5. He did, yes. He finished P5. Can't quite recall. Great stuff. So, despite that amazing post-race analyst, I'm not sure if your voice actually come through to the live stream or not. The settings are correct. Whether it's your settings, your end, I don't know, but that may have not worked. But it is. People are going to wonder why is he talking to himself. Yeah, this guy's an amateur. He couldn't get the microphone working for the first half hour. Now he can't even bring us a live post-race interview, but it's the thought that counts, isn't it? So, but anyway, just to finish off, great race from yourself. It was great watching you, and hopefully everyone on the live stream enjoys the coverage as well. So, thank you guys. The delivery did look good. Yes, I did mention that in the stream. So fantastic stuff. You too. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm not sure that came through that interview. Unfortunately, I think Mark's settings were probably not sharing his voice with the privacy settings. But it was interesting comments there from Mark. So anyway, to round it off, hopefully you enjoyed the race. I believe there may have been a few issues with the volume sound as well. I've only just picked up those comments, so apologies if my voice was very overbearing. But hopefully you enjoyed the action. It was a good race from Mildin and the victory from Mildin. So catch you next time. Take care and have a good week. Bye bye.